Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod. We have Zhenya Rosinsky with us. He's CEO and founder at Mirigos, also CEO and founder at GrowthEngine, and previous CEO and founder at Blissful, another of his startup. He worked at as a VP of engineer at Live Nation / Ticketmaster. He's a seasoned technology leader. This podcast presented to you by podper.com. If you want to start and monetize the podcast, go to podper.com. Zhenya, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks for having me. My name is Zhenya. I've been a CEO, founder of Mirigos for about 10 years. Started this company after spending 25 years in technology industry and figuring out that we need a better solution for distributed engineering teams. This is obviously way before COVID. Everybody was still in the office, but people wanted to do remote. And people wanted to hire remote, but everybody was doing more or less outsourcing. And as a senior technology leader, as a CTO, VP of engineering, I knew that there were a lot of shortcomings in that model. So started Mirigos. We're a service company where we focus on helping our clients hire really top-notch talent, engineering talent from Latin America and Europe, but it's not an outsourcing business. It's really team augmentation, outstaffing, where we solve all the problems that come with typical outsourcing.
Right. And are people still interested in outstaffing nowadays with GPTs? Seems it's really a hard product to sell, outstaffing.
Actually, no, I think people are still looking. So ChatGPT and other AI products are definitely replacing some workforce, but they're not replacing senior engineering people. Somebody still has to design, somebody still has to drive it forward, right? ChatGPT is great. We use it. We have it. As I've been joking for the past year, I'm employing ChatGPT full time for my business, but it's not a replacement for everything. It can do certain things.
Right. And how do you distinguish your agencies against the thousands of others?
So we're not a team, we're not an outsourcing company, right? So we focus, a typical outsourcing company, they come in with the idea, we're going to solve a problem for you. We're going to, we have a team, we have people, we know how to do this. And a lot of times they do, but that comes at a cost of losing control because the expertise now lie with the outsourcing company. It's their people, they know how to do it, even though legally the copyright and everything lies with the client, but the real true knowledge is with the outsourcing company. What we do is we eliminate that. We help you hire people. They're part of your team. They're part of your core team. They're part of decision making. It's your knowledge. It's your day-to-day management. It's yours. The only thing that we do is we do all the recruiting, we do all the HR component and international HR, and obviously we do all the compliance to make sure we can hire from different countries in the world without any risk to our clients.
Right. And how do you sell your services? Is it outreach, is it direct sales, is it marketing? How do you get your new clients?
A lot of it is power of connections. It's knowing people. We do the outreach. Word of mouth is probably our biggest referral because our clients love us, so they recommend it to their friends. But if you talk about, there's a lot of just meeting people, talking to them, and explaining what we do. And most hiring managers in specifically in technology space go, "Oh, that's great. We didn't know that was an option." Everybody looks at hire locally, outsourcing. Not a lot of people look at the third option. What also talking about sales, what also helps is I published a book last year called Global Talent, Local Results, which talks about the best ways how to get these teams remotely, build them remotely with remote resources, and yet get the same results, the same productivity, the same loyalty that you would get from local people.
Right. And your client roster currently, like how big is it and how big is your team?
So we have just over 100 people working with us. We have many different clients, several dozen. They are mostly small and medium-sized businesses. We do have some large household name companies as well, but most of them are, earlier startups, mid-sized companies. So I'd say our typical client is somebody who's got somewhere between 15 to 300 people, and but some are bigger, some are smaller.
What are your top growth strategies for this year? How do you want to grow your business?
So this year, it's an interesting business in the industry, with the economy being where it is, and people generally being afraid and not so sure how they're spending the money. We actually see some interesting growth because they come to us for lower cost. At the same time, it's a slower expansion. If you asked me a year and a half ago, people were coming like, yeah, I want to hire 10 people, 20 people this year, where now it's more, yeah, may hire one or two this quarter, next quarter, and then we'll see. So our growth has always been through outstanding service, through unconditional guarantee that we have. Like our clients, if they don't like somebody who's working for them, they can replace them, terminate them at any time. We can fill any position in a matter of weeks. So we're going to continue doing that and grow that way, grow through quality service.
How has events such as the Russian invasion or Israel and Hamas have affected your business?
It's an interesting question. So I'm originally from Ukraine. I was born in Ukraine, but I moved to United States over 30 years ago. When we started this business 10 years ago, our first hires were all in Ukraine. And we've expanded past that long before the war started. But clearly, this horrible war that Russia engaged on Ukraine, just absolutely unnecessary killing of civilians and taking territory, it had its effect, all right, because it's more difficult to hire people there, it's more difficult to manage. But we're still doing it. We still have presence in Ukraine. We support Ukraine. A lot of Ukrainians moved to other countries. So now we have an interesting situation where we hire people from all over Europe, but they're originally Ukrainians, right? They moved out because of the war. The latest, and the Israel defensive war didn't really have much effect on us. We don't have a lot of presence there, but we see it, we monitor it, we care, but it really didn't have much effect on the business.
What challenges have you faced in this year and how do you surmount these?
The biggest challenge this year is the uncertainty of the economy. It's even hard to explain, right? We talk to clients that they raised money, they have money in the bank, but they're not sure what's going to happen, so they're not spending it. Before, hiring managers were a lot more determined to go grow, right? Expansion, and now it's much slower. So we see that as the biggest challenge. Another big challenge is just political uncertainty, right? We have elections here in the US coming up. That always comes with certain uncertainty. Obviously, the two wars that are happening. So people are just not sure. That's, I would say, that the biggest thing we have to worry about.
What will happen if Trump is reelected for business?
I'll wake up in the morning and continue running my business.
And
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I don't think it's going to have much of an effect, one way or another. I mean, it's going to have an effect in the country. It's going to have an effect on everything else, but I don't think it's actually going to have a much effect on like my business day in, day out.
Right. So your business this year, growth, you're getting some clients, it seems like rather organically, word of mouth. As an entrepreneur, what are your personal objectives this year? What are you optimizing on a personal level to be more productive and happier?
So my personal objective is to get growth into the business. We've been growing every year ever since we started. Depending on different years, been higher and lower. I expect that this year growth, 2024 growth, is going to be at least 20%, and we're on track to get there. And that's my personal objective. That's my personal goal, and we're tracking well to get that.
Where can people find out more about you, Zen?
Mirigos.com, Mirigos.com, obviously, is our website. You'll get a contact form, my email address, Zhenya Rosinsky. You can Google it and happy to talk to you and tell you how we're different and how we can help solve a really long-standing problem of solving the outsourcing in a world of technology.